What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 19 of the Houston Astros Out of the Park Baseball 26 series. We're here. It is July 11, 2032, time for the first year player draft. Really quick, we're going to go through kind of what's been going on so far this year. Because there's been, a couple different injuries that have come along. Let's start in this pitching staff. We'll start with, I guess, Uchida. He's been awesome when he's out there. Unfortunately, he did deal with a significant enough injury. It was a strained forearm, 2-week injury. He wound up missing closer to a month, I think. It was about 6 starts that I think he was out. So he went out the 16th of May and wound up returning about a month and a half later after 2 rehab appearances. So again, when Uchida's been out there, he's been awesome as usual. Probably his best performance yet. I mean, he's had some great years, but this one's been particularly great. Averaging 7 innings a start, an ERA well under 2. The strikeouts are down, but he's still a beast. So great start to the year for Uchida. He did miss 6 or 7 starts. And then I guess Bustamante is the next guy to talk about. He's been really good. The walk rate is up from last year. The strikeout rate a little bit down, but limiting the home run ball. And overall, the results have been much, much better this year. ERA wise, FIP very similar though. Just some better BABIP luck probably, and then just natural growth. So he's been awesome as like a number 2 starter, and then the rest of the rotation's been fantastic. You could see Noah Schultz back in the rotation. He pitched out of the bullpen to start the year. He was fine there, 4.07 ERA in 24 innings. And may as well talk about him now. Aiden Curry, man, just a really sad end to his Astros career, probably. Wound up starting 11 games for us. And just, really, really bad numbers. Giving up 2.5 home runs per 9. The strikeouts way down from last year. The walks up, a 145 FIP minus. So we wound up moving him to the bullpen, and he wasn't really much better there. The strikeouts were up, but the walks were up. And then, unfortunately, went down with the torn labrum shortly after that. We actually wound up demoting him. I don't know if I demoted him to the minors. I don't think I did. I think he refused a demotion, but tears his labrum. So just a really, really lost season for Aiden Curry, and really disappointing how it ended here at age 30. Hopefully he can come back and bounce back for another team, but just really disappointing after 2 really promising years the last couple seasons, or actually last 3 seasons. He was really consistent ERA, in the 3 to 3.6 range. That's how things are going to end for Aiden Curry most likely. But man, the rotation really hasn't missed a beat. Noah Schultz has come in, like I said, wasn't great as a reliever, but has come in as a starter, 9 games, 3.35 ERA, really good stuff out of him. So he came in when Uchida, I guess he didn't come in when Uchida was hurt. I moved Aiden Curry to the bullpen, put Schultz in the rotation. He was really good. And then Uchida went down, called up top pitching prospect, Jimmy Rader. And, the numbers speak for themselves right here. 7 starts, a 1.64 ERA, like a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, not giving up a ton of home runs, a 59 FIP minus. So, normally I would have just called up Uchida, sent Rader back down, and that's that. Rader gets another shot later in the year. But, I can't take him out. He's been so good. And we're 55 and 36. We're doing really well, but we're not amazing like years past. So we kind of need him. So he wasn't going to come out of the rotation. Tim Levette, he's been awesome. An ERA under 3. Pretty similar numbers to last year. And just super consistent. Really nice 5th starter. So he wasn't coming out. And then Logan Webb, he's been our worst starter. He's about league average FIP-wise, ERA above average, 3.66 ERA, our worst starter. It's an embarrassment of riches. He's also making $33 million, so I'm not going to move him to the bullpen. But right now we're running a 6-man rotation. We've been doing this the last couple times through. And, these guys are all pretty much going deep in a game, so we don't need a deep bullpen right now. I guess we can go through who's been pitching out of the bullpen. Kirkering, he's been awesome. A good bounce back season. Last year wasn't bad by any means, but this year he's been much more effective. Limiting the home run ball, which has been huge for him. That was an issue last year, uncharacteristically an issue. Zach Showalter, he's been awesome in the 8th inning role. He was brought up to the 8th inning because Gregory Soto got off to a tough start to the year. April and May, ERA mid-4s. Since then, I demoted him to more of a low-leverage role. He's been much, much better. 37 years old, maybe running out of a little gas, but he's still been a really, really quality reliever for us. Alvin Perdomo has been really good. Guy we picked up this offseason for no, it wasn't Evan Kula. It was Taylor Rabe and Luis Garcia. Garcia only played in 21 games before tearing his ankle ligament. And we also gave up Taylor Rabe in that trade, who I'm kind of curious how he's doing. He's actually in Atlanta now. I wonder how Atlanta got him. Oh, he was a Rule 5 pick. Interesting. But he's been good for Atlanta, so good for him. But yeah, we got Perdomo. He's been awesome. Moved up to the 7th inning role now. Danny Carpenter, it's been a bit of a step back. The walks have predictably shot up. I mean, I didn't think they'd double, but he's given up 6.5 walks per 9. The home run's still under control, and the strikeout rate's still really good. But yeah, just a little bit of a step back for Carpenter. Maybe a pump the brakes moment and how good he could potentially be with that control. Justin Franklin just got called up. His first taste of the majors. He wasn't really pitching that well down in the minors, giving up, give a lot of home runs in 17 innings, but I just want to give him a shot, see what he has. He made 1 appearance, give 2 runs in an inning, but we're going to give him a little bit of run here. And then Danny Macarola, a guy who probably should have been up with the team, but just so many pitchers we have in the upper minors and major league roster. Macarola, now that we've kind of sorted through some guys, he's going to be up with the team for a while. Just wanted to see what some other guys had. One of those being Juan Soto. 35 innings this year. It was not pretty. And eventually I just wound up DFAing him. He was out of options. So, 148 FIP minus, 79 ERA plus, giving up 2.5 home runs per 9. The strikeout and walk stuff wasn't impressive. So I don't think he's ever going to reach his theoretical upside here. Other guys who have been up, Matt Napstein, guy we got in a trade for Jared Evankula. Evankula, by the way, got 15 plate appearances in the majors and has been really bad in AAA. But yeah, he was up for an inning, pitched well in the inning, but just haven't really needed him. Jesus Ledesma was up for 9 innings. He didn't really pitch that well and has been really, really bad in AAA. Kyler Pierce, he was up for 4 innings. He'll have another shot pretty soon, I'd imagine. Probably when we sort through our rotation stuff and eventually go back to a 5-man. So that's pretty much it for pitching. I don't think there's much else to talk about. Overall, really good staff this year. First or second in most every category. Strikeouts were 4th, but we're not really a strikeout team. That's kind of by design, I guess. And then offensively, man, it's been awesome. But we have had to deal with some injuries. So we'll start with the biggest injury guy this season, and a guy that I'm not really sure if he's ever gonna be able to play a full season. He hasn't yet. I guess 2030. He did spend some time between AAA and the majors, but he did get hurt that year. Last year, he was up all year, but wound up getting hurt. Was amazing when he was out there. And so far this year, he's played 17 games out of like 80 potential games or so, whatever we're at now. He's been awesome, but did deal with an injury. It was a couple different injuries. So strained his PCL right at the start of the year, missed 4 weeks with that. Came back and was on a rehab assignment, got hurt again with a strained hamstring. So it's been a tough road back for Beltran, but he's played 4 games back up, and he's been great in those games, of course, as he's been throughout his career. So we're glad to have him back. I'm now resting him under 97% just to try to keep him healthy. We'll see if that works. I've had mixed results with that in the past, but it's kind of our only option at this point. And we have other options offensively because this team has been so good. Rainer Arias, fantastic season, on pace for 45 home runs, which would be the most since his, I guess, second season, first full year up in the majors. It's crazy that he hit 5 home runs in 73 games his first year, but and then broke out for 53. Hasn't really gotten back there yet, but this year, definitely pacing toward that. He's been healthy all year. The offseason training definitely helping him out, and he's been awesome, on pace for over 8 WAR. Josh Leno, I mean, this dude's so exciting because he just absolutely destroys left-handed pitching. A 187 WRC plus in 75 plate appearances. Just cannot hit against righties though. But as a platoon guy, as a guy who can play first base for us, he's awesome, and everything I could have asked for out of that role. He's been fantastic. 1 WAR in just 102 plate appearances, and not any of that is really defensively, I don't think. Yeah. So good stuff out of Leno. Jackson Merrill, really good year from him. Super consistent. The defense, much better than last year. He put up a 6.4 zone rating in center field last year in 110 games. So far in 81 games, it's already surpassed that by a whole 1 zone rating, I guess. His WAR was hurt last year because he was DHing a ton due to his kind of lingering injury, but this year he's bounced back, on pace to steal 43 bases, which would be a career high by far. Exciting for him. He's been really good. Wyatt Langford's been mostly healthy this season. I think he maybe dealt with something. Yeah, like a strain, thumb contusion, but it wasn't anything huge. He's been mostly healthy. And he's played really well, on pace for 5 WAR. His defense has ticked up this year, above league average defensively in left field. So he's been good. I guess we'll jump to Starling Cava because he got hurt again toward the beginning of the season. He's been good when he's out there, but he did deal with a fractured thumb, missed 6 weeks. His defense has kind of come back this year, I'd say. Put up 4.3 zone rate in 66 games last year, 4.4 in 43 games this year. So with his injury, we, once again had to figure it out at shortstop. I gave Josar Gonzalez the first crack at it because he did do that role for us last year. And he had some success, but absolutely fell off toward the end. And this year, we caught lightning in a bottle, 39 games, 310 average, a 125 WRC plus, put up 1.2 WAR. Absolutely driven by a 450 BABIP, which is not going to be sustainable, and why he's not still starting at shortstop, even though he put up great numbers. A 33% strikeout rate to a 4% walk rate. We're happy we caught lightning in a bottle this year, but we really don't want to go back to him because I suspect those numbers will come down quite quickly, as they did last year. But we got some awesome performance out of him, so good on him. He's on this team still, despite being mostly healthy at this point. Colson Montgomery, really, really solid season. Not quite as good as his half year for us last year. Still struggling defensively at second base. Tried him at third base. Not really good at either of those spots. So we moved him back to first base. And his bat's definitely going to play. 116 WRC plus. 21% walk rate. 10% walk rate. 21% strikeout rate. Good stuff there. Just an overall really solid player. Can play a bunch of different positions, even if not that well at this point. But yeah, he's mostly only played against righties at this point. Not too much against lefties because we have such a strong platoon split on a lot of these guys like Leno and Dingo is a little bit better. And Montgomery, a lot better against righties as well. So yeah, just some platoon stuff going on there. And Herman Ramirez as well, who has been really good. And, it took him a little bit to figure things out in the majors. The first 3 years are pretty bad. Last year was solid in about a half season of playing time. And this year has been really good. We'll see if he can sustain this 350 BABIP. But again, we'll take the results as they come. He's only 25. Looks like a pretty solid player. Defensively, really versatile. Can play some corner outfield. Can play all over the infield. He's played pretty much everywhere. First base, second base, third base, a little bit of shortstop. You'd prefer to keep him out of shortstop, but with Josar Gonzalez on the team, he doesn't need to play that role anymore. And the bat's been really solid. 111 WRC plus. Talked about Kaba. Eric Murphy, he's been great. He got off to a red hot start to his season. Batted 400 in April and 28 plate appearances in May. About a league average bat. And then so far in June was not that great. 31 plate appearances. I mean, this is all small sample stuff. But yeah, I like him as a backup catcher long term. It does complicate things with David Montez down in the minors, who's just knocking on the door and like trying to force his way through the door, but we just don't have a spot for him, unfortunately. And we're much better against lefties with guys like Leno, Ramirez, and Dihigo, that's his name. Who finally got called back up to the majors, was playing really well in AAA. Again, just didn't have a spot for him. But I'm going to give him a little bit of an extended look here, especially against lefties. He'll be starting at third base. So, and then mixing in quite a bit against lefties as well. Aaron Estrada, bit of a step back from last year's All-Star. Was he the All-Star last year, or is that 2030? Yeah, it was last year. A bit of a step back offensively. He lost his starting job for a little bit. He's kind of playing a utility role, much more than years past. Third base. He played a lot of that to start the year. Then moved to kind of a DH, corner outfield, second base, utility role. And I prefer him in that spot, but with some of the platoon stuff we have going on, he's better against righties. So, he's our third baseman against righties, even though his defense has taken a step back. And then Drew Romo, the bat has taken a step back this season, but not too much. The power is really the thing that's gone down this year. He hit 20 home runs 2 years ago, 16 last year, only 4 so far this year. Puts him on a 7 home run pace. He's a leader. He's good defensively. Not going to complain about Drew Romo. And then we talked about Dihigo. But there's more to talk about because you see some guys down here in AAA. Jeff Huffins played 66 games. Was getting a lot of playing time for us, but put up an 85 WRC plus, negative WAR. The BABIP was pretty much in line with his career average, but the strikeout rate was up, the walk rate down. He just wasn't getting the results, so wound up sending him down to AAA. I don't think he'll be down there for very long, but just want to give some other guys a look. And then Gary Coslet. We'll get to what my plans are with him, but again, I think we kind of caught lightning in a bottle with him. Last year he was solid, but not really incredible. Didn't really blow me away. Didn't even make the opening day roster. Yes, he did. He made it as our backup outfielder, but wound up getting a lot of playing time because he was playing so well. A 124 WRC plus, but driven by a 374 BABIP. Still the strikeout rate's at 30%. And I'm really concerned that this avoid Ks has not gone up in years. You see his, I'm not going to base all of his avoid Ks on his contact, but if you look at his current contact versus his potential, since age 20, back in 2029, he's been at this 45. Well, everything else is kind of ticked up. His power's gone up to a 55. His eye's gone up to a 50. That contact hasn't improved. The strikeout rate's still at 40, which is borderline playable for me. And with his trade value being high and not really a need for him, we have Huffins, we have Ramirez down in AAA, who I still really believe in, is a little bit better defensively, is playing really well at that level. And we'll get to him. He didn't really do too well in the majors. But I do have a trade lined up for him. It's kind of a sell high move on a guy I don't entirely believe in long term. So we'll get to that in a couple minutes. But yeah, just something to look forward to. And then Juan Ramirez was up when Beltran went down. Played in 22 games, 71 plate appearances. Pretty similar results to last year, a 55 WRC plus. The strikeout rate not bad, but the walk rate pretty low. He still plays good defense out in the outfield, so he has value in that way. And I would like to just give him kind of the nod over guys like Coslet or anyone else. I mean, Huffins I still believe in, so I'm not going to give up on him. But even him, I prefer him in a platoon role. So yeah, let's actually go to that trade right now because I do have something lined up with the Giants, and it's a pretty big one. So we had Gary Coslet, former third round pick, top prospect, theoretical upside of the Avoid Ks that I don't know if he's going to reach. There's a good chance he will, and he'll be a superstar player, but I'm going to bet against that at this point based on what I went through earlier. So we have Coslet in this deal, Danny Romero, former international free agent sign, and this is back in 2028 when I signed like 15 guys to like no money. He hasn't really flown through the majors. He's 20 or through the minors. He's 22. Just kind of an expendable guy. Another right-handed corner outfielder. Tony Caballero, former fourth-round pick, a guy that I liked when we drafted him. It was like back here. He was just a well-rounded pitcher. That's kind of fallen off for him, but he's still highly valued around the league. OSA likes him a little bit better than us. And then Jonathan Reitmeyer, a guy that they valued pretty high. Minor league depth type of guy. And then Edgar Cervantes, another really highly valued guy who the OSA really likes with his home runs allowed stuff. My scout, not as much. Low work ethic, low baseball IQ. A guy that I'm willing to bet against, even if he has some theoretical upside at age 17. It's better to sell high, and this is truly a sell high deal because we're going to get a pretty crazy package back from the Giants, who are rebuilding, looking for some major league talent, looking to take a risk on a guy like Coslet, Cervantes, Danny Romero even, and Caballero, who once upon a time was like a pretty highly rated prospect. I think he was in our top 20 at one point, but this package kind of centers around Ben Edens, who the OSA does not like. Former 20th round pick. He looks like minor league depth type of guy. They have him playing in rookie ball right now as a 21-year-old, so the Giants don't really like him. My scout loves him. He is a side armor, so you're concerned about the platoon stuff. Even looking here, like things tick down pretty significantly against lefties. But there's massive theoretical upside with him. He's younger than a guy like Coslet. We don't really need Coslet, so Ben Edens is kind of the prize of this deal. But I was able to get Mark Fuqua out of them as well. Another guy with this high home runs allowed stuff. The stuff isn't horrible. The control is solid. Has 3 pitches. Who knows if the changeup will get there. But another one of these guys that I really like and our scout likes, the OSA doesn't like as much. So we're just trying to squeak some value out of this deal with him. Rob Sullivan, former third-round pick, well-rounded hitter. The OSA likes him a bit more than our scout, but our scout still thinks he can be, a nice player. The defense needs some work, but, if the bat winds up playing, we could work on the defense later. Marco De La Cruz, a relief prospect, side armor type from the left side. Again, another guy who's going to have platoon issues, but a good dart throw to have. Rosh Cholosky, 27-year-old, probably is not going to reach his upside, but a good defender. And playing pretty well in Double-A this year. Just another guy to have in the system. And then John Salas, good high floor, 25-year-old catching prospect. Could be good depth in the minors. So, it's tough to give up on Coslet because I've been high on him in years past, but the lack of development, he's almost 24. I just don't think he's going to get there, and I'm willing to bet on that. And we're getting back some high upside guys that the Giants may not value as high as we do. So I think this is a great value proposition, especially just Edens, Fuqua, and Sullivan. Those are kind of the prize guys, and these guys are kind of just dart throws. Can they retain some of this? Okay, good. I think we're going to go with this trade. Just kind of restocking and re-envisioning the farm system here with this deal. Coslet, again, tough to give up, but we're going to go through, make this trade, and kind of give that role to Ramirez now with Coslet out the door. Huffin's still in the building. A lot of right-handed outfielders. Just trying to refocus some of our assets that we have. So Ben Edens, I'm going to throw him. Yeah, they like him in high A. I'm going to put him in A ball for the moment. See how he plays there. Rob Sullivan can probably go to A-ball. Marco De La Cruz probably fine in AA. He's good there. This guy's on the 40, but good depth to have, especially at shortstop, which we always seem to need a guy. And John Salas, yeah, he can play in AAA for sure. And we'll put him in A-ball. So there you go. We'll see how this plays out. We did a couple deals with the Giants in the past. The last one being Christopher Sanchez, which no, we didn't do that with them. Wait, what did we? Well, we definitely did the Arias trade, which was a highway robbery for us. Yeah, okay, we did do this deal. Christopher Sanchez for Hunter Brown. That worked out really well. So we've had good success trading with the Giants in the save. And just to check in on Christopher Sanchez, because he was one of the big stories in the 2029 season. He wound up getting hurt that first year with LA, bounced back last year, and it was solid for LA. And then this year has been really good. But yeah, they have him under contract for a couple more years. Would be a fun guy to bring back, but so expensive and getting old. So let's jump to the draft. So I've already summed up to our pick. I was just browsing around and what was good. So the biggest guy that I wanted to target was this guy Jeremy Harper. One of these classic high school arms. But he winds up going 14, so we didn't really have a realistic shot at him. So I did go through and kind of scout this out. I'm hoping I can find, so Oscar Hernandez, I think, was one of the guys I really liked. Has some bust potential, but he's definitely an option. Alex Ortega was another one, a guy who was projected to go pretty high in this draft. Was he the top guy available according to the mock draft? Yeah, he was. He was supposed to go 16. I really like him. Well-rounded player. 20 years old. Can play an A-ball immediately for us. It was between him and Gonzalez, I think. Justin I like, but the control's a big concern. Ben Hess, not a huge fan of him. John Kidda, 3-pitch guy with control issues. None of these catchers I really love that much. I guess I liked Parkes, but we've gone catcher pretty high in the last couple drafts. Richard Day, fun player, but maybe not first round. I feel like there was someone else that I really liked. I did this yesterday, so it gets a little tricky coming back to it. Ryan Esser is actually not bad. Another one of these guys was kind of my type. 4-pitch guy with good home runs allowed. Oh, Jaden Johnson. Here we go. This is the guy. I liked him. Unfortunately, the stamina is not really there. He does have high work ethic, high baseball IQ. So, if you're able to get him up to a 40 stamina, that's awesome. But it's a big risk. Maybe a guy we look at in the second round if he's still available. If teams value him as a reliever. And he winds up falling. Tim Jonas, another guy I liked. Jesus Ortega, a little bit younger, not really projectable frame at 5'11", 170. The velocity potential kind of reflects that, but does have a ton of upside. Trying to look at other guys I kind of remember looking at. I feel like there were some 55 guys that I liked. Ron Brady's not bad. Yeah, those are probably the guys we're going to choose from here, I'd imagine. I think a lot of these guys down in the 55s are going to fall to the second round. They think Ricky Ordelli, not a defensive player, right-handed bat, doesn't really fit. Justin Ott, he's high upside. Jason Pera, really nice relief prospect, but we've kind of whiffed on those guys in the past, and I don't really want to do that again. And David Parkes, who would be fun, but our catching's pretty set in the minor leagues at this point. So it really is going to come down to which of Josh Fairley, also a really nice player. Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. Yeah, I think I'd prefer either Oscar Hernandez, um, or Jaden Johnson. Probably second round guy though, and then Alex Ortega. But we have actually kind of accumulated a lot of depth in our minor league infield. We have Dylan Jones, top 100 prospect. I don't really believe in him that much. Former first round supplemental pick last season. The defense is an issue, but he's 20 years old. Marco Martinez, former international guy, last offseason has played really, really well in the Dominican League this year. A guy we could see in a couple seasons, potentially. He'll be playing in the Complex League as soon as it starts in a few days. We have Eduardo Padilla, our top international guy this year, which I didn't even mention, but an 18-year-old with a ton of upside. I wound up missing out on the top guy that I wanted, so he was kind of the next guy up. The top guy, we didn't have maximum international money this year, so we got outbid for Padilla. You have like Xavier Brown down here, similar player to like Dylan Jones, Jeff Denmark, supplemental pick in 2030. I don't really know if he's going to work out, but he has some upside. Vincio Coker, third round pick in 2030. So yeah, we have a good amount of infield depth. Oh yeah, Juan Izquierdo, who's made it up to high A, former top international guy in 2030, and has played well throughout the minor leagues. That's to say, we don't really need infielders. I don't really know if we need pitching either. we're kind of stacked at every position. So like maybe we just go best player available. Take David Parkes. He's a leader. Could be the long-term answer. Ooh, this charger is not plugged in from my computer. Oh, that's embarrassing. Computer was about to die. Yeah, it could be the long-term answer. At catcher. You know what? Maybe we'll do that. As many catchers have we taken over the years. He's a guy who was expected to go. Let's see. Where the heck was he expected? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't actually see him in the mock drafts anywhere. Anyway, there's some defensive stuff to work on here, but the bat looks really good. And he's a lefty, so that's fun. Yeah, I'm going to take David Parkes here. Let's do it. Take a little bit more of a swing on this pick. So, well under slot. We'll meet his demand. 35th pick in the draft. We'll go to the second round here. Alfredo Serrano. Really nice upside guy. Mitchell Westbrook has some pop potential. Westerbeek. Sorry. Alan Ricciardelli, yeah, I talked about him. Justin Ott, still intriguing. Yeah, Ricciardelli fell big time in this one. Looks like, yeah, a lot of the guys we were looking at before went. Ryan Esser, nice high floor guy. I don't really know if we need upper minors pitching though. Jesus Ortega might be the perfect fit here. Good high upside arm here. Fastball, curveball, splitter, potential changeup. So I like Ortega. What do we have for hitters? Alfredo Serrano, another fun one we can go with. Could be a really good third baseman. A lot of these guys, similar builds, that high power, high strikeout. Tim Jonas, really like him actually. Luke Smith, honestly, probably looks like the best guy here. Good upside with the bat. The glove, there's some stuff to work on to be a third baseman, but that bat can definitely play at third. If anything, I'm looking for like a left-handed outfielder that's in the high minors. Oh man. Okay. Ooh, this guy's interesting. Fernando Joya. Well-rounded bat, has some defensive stuff going on there. He's a righty. Oh, I forgot to mention Nestor Rosales. He came up after playing really well in AAA again. Called him up to play. I think he was up when Cabo went down. He was playing some second base, and he was awesome. Strikeout rate under 10%. OPS at 140. OPS plus at 140. Defensive struggles still there, but he looks like a long-term piece with the bat. He got hurt, finger blister. He'll be out for a couple weeks here. So like a guy like Joya, is he a little bit redundant? Maybe. But just wanted to look at that because he's an interesting player. All right, so Richard Day, I still like. Josh Fairley, another dude I like. Jesus Ortega. So Josh Fairley, how is his scouting gone? He hasn't really improved since 2030, which is always a little concerning. Justin Ott, his movement's actually gone down. Control hasn't really improved since 2031. You'd like to see guys on a high trajectory. Something that I've kind of learned to value, especially in this save, in this year's version of the game. Tim Jonas. Yeah, he's kind of been a little stagnant as well. Just concerns me a little bit. Guys actually come down a little bit in the scouting. Luke Smith is a guy I really liked. He's been a bit stagnant, but also like our scouting accuracy is really low down there. Man, I don't know what to do with this pick. Ortega's come down a little bit. All right, we'll be back in a second. I got to figure this pick out. Okay, so in the second round, we wound up taking Mitchell Westerbeek. Just an interesting player to take here. I haven't taken really any of these guys in the save, so it's, fun to take a projectable 17-year-old. There's a good chance he never works out, but he has high work ethic, high leadership, really good third base defense potentially. If we could figure out the strikeouts, the high work ethic will help that. So I just thought it was a fun dart throw to make at that pick. Not that we really need any help anywhere, but if we're looking for somewhere, it'd be like, a slugging infielder in the minor leagues, because we don't have a ton of those guys. We have a lot of well-rounded hitters, not like anyone crazy like that. Alan Ricciardelli continues to fall here into the third round. And I don't even know if the value is like that great. He's like a pretty good hitter, but just doesn't play defense. I can maybe play corner outfield, but I don't think his bat's really justifiable to take over anyone else that we have out there. Especially because his defense wouldn't be that good. So looking at all players, like Justin Ott's still out here too. I have my concerns with him, but like third round, this might be good value. Josh Fairley, another guy that I really liked. I think I'm leaning toward him at this point. Ryan Esser, another high floor guy. But like a lefty, pretty fun player here. The fastball's not big, but he's got a nice curveball, nice changeup, a sinker as well. So like a good pitch mix. Shouldn't have any real splits because he's over the top. and he's durable. I think let's take Ryan Esser here. I like Ortega too. Maybe Ortega makes more sense. I would say really likes Ortega, man. Yeah, I'm actually gonna take Ortega. If Esser falls to the fourth, we'll take him there. But yeah, let's go with Ortega here in the third. Esser does fall to the fourth, so I'm gonna take him here. Okay, Justin Ott. I mean, he's still hanging around here in the fifth round. I think that's too good a value to pass up. A guy who has his issues, but I mean, the upside is massive. If he was to get to that and improve his control a little bit, it's definitely doable. So 3 straight pitchers here in the third, fourth, and fifth rounds after taking hitters in the first 2. So, not bad. This guy's interesting. I've been seeing him around, but, he's not that interesting at the bat, in my opinion. James Papineau is okay. Adam Olson. Fun arm. Lefty. Young guy. I'd prefer to go for these high school guys, honestly, at this point. Because our mid-minors is stacked and, you can't keep stacking up talent. These guys eventually are never going to play. You want to have the next crop coming through. Maybe this reliever would be interesting here. He doesn't really have an out pitch. He's an incredibly soft tosser. But really interesting. Is crazy to take a first baseman here? A lefty. Long term, our first base spot's kind of open depending on where Langford winds up. Montgomery's gone after the season. We don't have a true masher unless Beltran winds up playing first base, which I'd prefer him in the outfield if he could ever get healthy. It's probably a long-term replacement for a guy like Langford or probably not Merrill. Merrill will probably be around for a while, but a long-term replacement for a guy like Langford. So Chris Barker, he could certainly play first base and has a good bat. He's a lefty. Yeah, I'm leaning toward him. I really love his personality. Manny Amador, kind of underwhelming for 55 overall. Ron Rose, like him too. Young righty, got really good control. Home run stuff, not that great. I always like these type of guys, obviously, but the control is kind of a problem with him. Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward that first baseman here. Why not? Actually, I like Connor Jacob, but he's fragile. That sucks. Yeah, let's go with the first baseman there. That guy's interesting too. Phil Pruitt, another well-rounded pitcher. Phil Pruitt's available in the next round. Might go after him. Yeah, let's take Chris Baker here. Why not? We haven't taken a single first baseman in the series. Phil Pruitt, this guy that I was looking at here, so he's at the top of my board at the moment. If Machua is here, I don't love him, but in the low baseball IQ stuff, could be a good, solid defender at third base potentially. We already kind of have a bunch of third basemen though that are his kind of ability upside. Yeah, let's go Phil Pruitt. Well-rounded high school arm. As a 7th round pick, that's pretty good, I'd say. I'd probably just grab best player available that I like. Jamie Barnett, yeah, he's okay. What do they have for relievers up here? Anyone? Chris Lessard. Change up being that low concerns me. I mean, Connor Jacobs probably worth a dart throw, even if he's fragile. John Florio could be a good reliever. Got a nice wipeout slider from the left side. Yeah, I mean, let's go John Florio. Maybe we can work on the control, get him there, but we'll see. Chris Spencer's got high work ethic as a middle infielder. Although, geez, the OSA hates his range. Our scout likes him a lot more. Anyone else that really stands out? This guy's fun. Low leader, low adaptability, but I mean, big power upside. Sure, why not? We'll take Josh DePaulis. Grab with a couple of those different guys. Connor Jacob falling this far. Let's grab him. Even if he gets hurt, 10th round pick. These are all dart throws anyway. Mike Eggers, kind of like him. But Machua's here. Yeah, let's take Machua. Get him off the board. I'm kind of flying through this draft right now. Once I slow down, I'll cut out. But if we keep at this pace, I can go through a couple rounds. This guy's got a nice work ethic, decent upside, I guess. Sure, let's throw a dart at Francisco Martinez. The guy's just probably not going to work out. Juan Chavez. I like Nick Forsythe. Fun backup catcher type. Good enough defense to start with. We have so many catchers though. It's pretty bad. Jesus Siri might be my favorite of the bunch. If we're gonna go for another catcher, this guy's interesting with the control issues. We've grabbed a couple of those guys so far. Klaus Sylvester, low baseball IQ. It looks like the strength is actually a catcher right now, so it might make sense to grab one of these guys. Just based on what we have in our farm system, I prefer a high school guy, I think. Morales, not really a defensive player. I think Jesus Siri is probably my favorite, even though he has low baseball IQ. Maybe he can figure something out. So we'll grab him for 13th round pick. Alex Ramirez has some tools, low baseball IQ, but he's interesting. Kyle Ogle, don't like him nearly as much. Ken Brown, yeah. Sure, let's go with Alex Ramirez. He's got some tools. 14th round pick. Kyle Ogle, we could just double up on those type guys. Yeah, let's do that. Kyle Ogle, double dip. It's a long shot any of these guys work out, but worth a dart throw. Billy Owens, interesting enough. This guy slipped through the cracks. Sure, we'll take him. High school arm. Stephen Crook. Got a couple different pitches, 5 pitches. Soft tosser. Sure, we'll grab him. I'm actually going to finish this draft in a reasonable amount of time. This usually takes me quite a while. But kind of speed running this series at this point. Ryan Mosel, nice high floor guy. I think that's the type of guy you want to grab here. 19th round. High work ethic reliever, low baseball IQ. I don't know. Bill Bruni is a dart throw in the infield. Sure, why not? Last pick of the draft. Try to get someone who has like one really nice tool to work with. Let's go by batting potential. See like if anyone has just like big power potential. Marcos Romero. I mean, yeah, he looks okay. Let's grab him. Okay, so we finished the draft. Kind of went through everything there, so no really need to recap the draft here. So yeah, we're 55 and 36. First in pretty much every offensive category. The defense has bounced back this season, getting like Kaba back. Merrill's been playing the outfield. Montgomery's now at first base, so we have much better infield defense. Yeah, I mean, the team's in good shape. We have so much pitching in AAA. I don't think we're going to even make a move for a reliever, even if that is kind of where we would theoretically need some depth. I think we can piece it together with what we have. And I'd like to see what some of the young guys have anyway. So, yeah, pending like a Beltran injury or like anyone getting hurt in the next 2 weeks or so, we'll probably wind up standing pat here. We're getting Rosales back, which would be nice. Schoolcraft will also be back for whatever that counts. He's pitched well over the past couple of years for us. Looks like the bats actually come along decently. Might be worth giving him a look. See if he can maybe hit. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to sim ahead. We'll be back with any updates that come along. The Angels, they're 7 games back of us, so we're not like pulling away in the division. I should go like through how month by month we did. April was solid, 16 and 10. May we did struggle, 14 and 14. That's when we lost like Uchida and we lost Beltran. And then June we bounced back, 19 and 9. So far in July, 6 and 3. So yeah, not the dominant team we've been in the past, but I think we're still probably on pace for like close to 100 wins at this point. And yeah, we've been pretty dominant since 2028. 3 straight World Series, obviously made the playoffs 4 straight years. Yeah, this team's looking pretty good. So we'll be back with any updates before the deadline, and we'll see what's going on at that point. All right, so we're here at the deadline, and I don't really think there's much to do. The bullpen's really settled in, and we actually had Justin Franklin put in quite a few good innings for us. 6.2 innings, 2.7 ERA after kind of struggling in his first game in the majors. Bounced back and put in 3 really, really good efforts. So we feel good about where he's at. Right now we have Kyler Pierce up in the bullpen. He just got 1 out on 8 pitches. So we feel good where he's at. Napstein's up with the team. He's pitched well in 6 innings. Kerkering, Showalter, Perdomo have been really good. Soto's been great after a rough start. Carpenter's been really solid. Definitely improving. And then Noah Schultz back in the bullpen. He's been really, really good in 2 appearances. And we're back into a 5-man rotation. Logan Webb's been balling out the last few starts. Uchida had a couple rough ones, but overall in the year, still an ERA under 2. Bustamonte's been balling out in his last 4 starts. Jimmy Rader continues to pitch really, really well. And Tim Levette, is our weakest link. He's been awesome. So, and then hitting-wise, Eric Murphy's been on a freaking ripper. 3 home runs in his last 4 games he's played. He's been great. Drew Romo has struggled with the bat, but still really good defensively. Josh Leno had a 2-homer game here. Drove in 6 runs. He dominates lefties. Montgomery hasn't been amazing, but he's been fine. Ramirez has been good. Dehigo, he's been up. Just not enough sample size to really call that anything. Estrada's been playing really well recently. Caba's been a league average hitter. And, Josar Gonzalez predictably fell off very quickly with a little bit more playing time. But, Beltran, he had like a 46-game on-base streak that got snapped a couple days ago. Has struggled a little bit since coming back in 15 games, but he's overall been really good. Then you got Langford, Merrill, Arias. No complaints with those guys. Arias has been on a tear as well, on pace for 50 homers, just about. Merrill on pace for 7 WAR, 34 home runs, which would tie his career high that he set in 27 and 29. And then, I think this team's in really good shape. I don't feel any need to upgrade anywhere because sometimes it's better to just run with what you got. I still want to get Huffins back on the team. I still want to get Ramirez back up here. Macarola, we know what he can do when he's up. Desma, I still want to get some more innings too. So yeah, just we're gonna play out the rest of the season as is. We already kind of made a trade for Coslet, which he is up in the majors. And predictably kind of struggling in 53 plate appearances. Still a small sample size. We'll see what he winds up turning into with them. You just want to check in on kind of the guys that we got. Ben Edens, oh my God, has been insane since we traded for him. We'll call him up to high A. 4 starts, 1.19 ERA, 37 FIP minus. Obviously, probably shouldn't have been at that level. And then Mark Fuka, he's been pretty solid in 3 starts, small sample size and everything, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. A pretty quick one. We did go through a lot of the drafts, so that held things up, but yeah, not really much else to talk about. So yeah, we'll go into the second half with this team, see what we can do. So thank you very much for watching. We will see you guys in episode 20. See you then. Peace.